Hi, I'm Lucy Chamberlain and I'm head gardener at a private estate in Essex called East Dullen Hall. I'm also one half of the plant experts at BBC Gardeners World Live.
And I'm the other half of the plant experts. My name is Saul Walker and I work at Stoners House in Devon. We're here today at Audley End to meet up with Head Gardener Louise and her team as they show us around the walled garden.
Thank you. Wow, Saul, what an amazing greenhouse this is.
Wow, look at the flower, look at the colour. Absolutely gorgeous.
And these hyacinths, they absolutely smell delicious.
Scents in the air, isn't it? Yep.
Louise, hello, lovely to meet you. I'm Lucy.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, and I'm Saul.
Hello.
How are you?
Nice to meet you both. It's great to see you here in the kitchen garden at Audley End today.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. We've had a quick look round as we arrived and it's such a gorgeous place, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's not all down to me. We have a garden team of 12 staff here and lots of volunteers as well.
Wonderful.
Keep it looking like this.
And what we're going to be talking about today, which I'm going to find fascinating, is the history of the garden, but actually also how you manage the garden in the modern day as well. So the contrast of the two, or maybe things that we do the same.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We're really looking forward to having a good look around.
Great. I'll be pleased to show you around. Okay, so if you want to follow me.
Yeah, of course.
This is the bothy. So we're in the back sheds behind the vinery, and I just wanted to show you the bothy where two of the under gardeners would have lived, particularly focused on William Creswell, who was a gardener here in the 1870s.
And what's interesting is I can see we've got his diary.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a copy of the diary, but the original diary is in the collection down at the main house. But we're also really fortunate that we've got a second diary for a gardener called Thomas Challis, who was here in the 1790s.
So, Louise, what do you think Challis and Creswell would have been doing in about mid-April, which is where we are now, in their gardens in the 17 and 1800s? What would be the jobs they'd be doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. There's some very similar jobs to the sorts of jobs that we're doing at the moment that you may well see today. So they mention pricking out and potting on tomatoes.
Yep.
They mention tying in peaches. There's also preparation work in the vegetable plots, sort of getting the soil ready for planting. So yeah, fascinating that we're doing the same sorts of jobs as them.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years later.
And we're going to go and have a look at your gardeners and yourself doing some of those jobs now. So you're going to go and have a look at some tomatoes and we're going to go and have a look at some of the old cloches.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Let's do it.
Well, these are great, aren't they?
They're fantastic.
I tell you what, they're a bit
I
big
know. Really heavy.
God, can
not
imagine
too
you
much.
carrying these about all day.
I know. We haven't got too much further to go though, so we're just going to put them onto the salad border. Yeah, so if we finish the row, that's perfect. Lovely.
So Louise, why are we actually putting cloches on the soil at this time?
It's to help warm the soil up. So we've got some early plantings behind the scenes to bring out, so we want to pre-warm the soil.
These are absolutely gorgeous cloches. They're obviously not the type you might get at home. You told me these have been restored recently.
Yeah, so we've had them in the garden for quite some time. They've been in the garden all the time I've been here, for about 14 years, but they were in quite a poor state of repair. So we have a team of maintenance volunteers who do DIY work for us. And they replaced quite a lot of the glass and also rubbed down and repainted, and they look amazing.
Oh, they're absolutely beautiful. But I suspect many people at home may not have these kinds of cloches. So what kind of thing could you use on the soil to warm it up instead of these beautiful cloches?
Yeah, I mean, you can use more modern materials. So people do use things like fleece, also plastic on the soil, also cut down bottles, large plastic bottles upturned, they can be used as cloches as well.
Lovely. Well, hopefully you'll get some good crops out of these in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Kelly, hi.
Hello.
What are you doing here? You've got your fingers on some tomatoes.
I have. I'm just pricking out some tomatoes. Here's some that I've already done. We've sown them in a seed tray, and now we're just pricking them out into 9 centimetre pots, so they've got room to grow out. So they're a lovely size when we come to plant them later on.
I love the names that we've got here. We've got White Tom and Say, Vintage Wine, which is a fantastic name. What's this one say?
Hillbilly.
Hillbilly. Oh, that's a fantastic tomato. I'd love to see some hillbilly. So with tomatoes, they love a nice sunny position in the garden. So these are going to go along a south or west facing wall when they're planted outside?
They're actually going to go into our tomato house, so we're very lucky. We've got a south facing tomato house, which is part of our vinery range. So we'll be planting them in pots in there. So they'll have lovely, warm, sunny environment.
And how many varieties will you be growing?
So last year we grew over 60,
Wow.
but this year we're growing over 40. We've selected the ones that we really liked, and we've saved lots of seed. So we've saved over 30 different varieties, and that was through just fermenting in little jam jars and then cleaning the seed and then packaging that up.
And so you're pricking out now.
Yeah.
Show me how you pick out a tomato seedling, because I know people do love growing tomatoes in their own gardens at home.
Yeah, sure. So we start off by sowing them in a seed tray like this, and then just to give them a bit of a bigger root run, we get 9 centimetre pots. So I'll start from the beginning. So we just make sure all of our compost is nice and prepped, no lumps, and then we just fill up our pot, give it a bit of a shake. And then we just use this. This just knocks off any of the excess soil. Give it a little tamp down. And then we get our dibber. So I'm just using a pea stick. Just give it a nice little hole right in the middle. And then we pick up our seedling just by the seed leaves here. So you don't want to pick it up by the stem because you could snap that. And if you do snap one of the leaves, that's fine because you've got another one there, so that won't cause too much damage. Then you just firm it in and then give it a little water and away you go.
Lovely.
Oh wow.
That's a bit tricky to get in.
I can see that. Yes. Wow.
Oh my goodness me. What an amazing place. Yeah, mind your head.
Louise, we're in the vinery, and it's quite interesting how you've got the vines set up here, because this isn't how they would usually be grown all year. Why have you got them down like this?
Okay, so we've lowered the vines over the winter to prune them. So you can prune them at a sensible height rather than from lots of ladders. But it's also to enable us to do winter work, which we're completing now, which involves scraping the bark off the vines. In this position, it allows even bud break as well along the length of the rod.
Yeah, you can see the buds actually are starting to break here along the spurs of the rods already, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that actually you have been scraping the bark, and this is something that I do on my estate at East Dunland. I do this every year to get rid of things like mealybug and scale insect, all the nooks and crannies where they can overwinter.
Yeah.
So is this something that they would have been doing back in the 1800s, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a historic method, and we continue to do it, and the team have been busy all winter, spending a long time scraping the vines. But yeah, it's recorded in Creswell's diary, so he was here as a gardener in the late 1870s. And as you say, it allows access for cleaning, but also less hiding places for mealybug particularly.
And also, do you know, it actually looks really tactile and lovely. When you get down to that red bark, because I know on ours at home, you get grey and brown and it's all kind of dull, and actually revealing this lovely glowing orange layer underneath the stems. Looks really lovely.
It does, yeah.
And the ladies are up to something unusual with their toothbrushes and this milky liquid called Flipper, I believe. What's
That's
that doing?
right. So Flipper is a bioinsecticide, and so it will help to prevent problems with aphids and also mites on the vines. And fits in with the organic approach that we take in the kitchen garden.
Yeah.
So during the main season, we'll be releasing beneficial insects into the glass houses to help control pests. A totally different approach to the approach that would have been taken by Victorian gardeners here.
Well, I hope you get a good crop this year. Should we go and have a look at the peaches?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So this is Gemma, our kitchen garden supervisor.
Hi, Gemma.
Gemma, this is the most beautiful peach house. You've got 2 very mature peaches on this side of the greenhouse and 2 fan trained up against the wall as well. I guess the idea with peaches is they are a sugar-packed fruit, aren't they? And also they flower really early in the season. These are just going over. The flowers would have been stunning in here about mid-March. So can you explain what's going on with the system of training here?
Yeah, so we have two identical peaches called Barrington. They are 1826 cultivar, historically trained as fans in our wonderful historic peach house. As you can see, we're filling the framework here. So every year we're waiting until well into the spring and summer months to do some restorative pruning to look at replacement shoots and also making sure we fill the framework to get the maximum sun and light.
And because the flowers so early, you have to get them pollinated quite early on in the year. So do you do any hand pollination here?
Absolutely, very good question. So yes, during late winter, early spring, there's a distinct lack of pollinating insects. So historically, the Victorians would have used rabbit's tail to pollinate flower by flower, much replicating the work that bees do. We do that today with a synthetic brush and stagger it over a course of several weeks.
So these shoots that you can see here on the fans, Gemma, do you actually tie them in or do anything to them as the summer goes on?
Yes, very much so. So we will tie them in subsequently throughout the growing season when the growth starts to shoot out. We've had obvious bud break now, so it's a case of thinning out, tying in and taking out any wayward shoots.
And there's so many flowers on it. Are you going to thin it out later?
Yeah, very much so. So we go through 2 stages. In spring, we'll identify any unwanted buds, anything that's not flat, growing away from the framework, growing into the sunlight, something that will eventually become potentially a mouthwarm fruit. So we'll rub all those off.
Lovely, thanks, Gemma.
Thank you.
Louise, thank you so much for showing us around Audley End Kitchen Garden today. It's been really such a lovely experience.
You're very welcome. It's been great to meet both of you.
It's been such a lovely day to be in the gardens.
I
You've
know.
done such a fantastic job here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's been great to show you round.
Bye-bye now.
Okay.
Bye. We have had an absolutely glorious day here at Audley End Kitchen Gardens. It's been fascinating speaking to Louise and her team, Gemma and Kelly, and I've so enjoyed understanding what past kitchen gardeners do and what we do in the present day.
So if you want to join us here, BBC Gardeners World Autumn Fair is coming to Audley End between the 2nd and the 4th of September. Join me and Lucy on one of our plant expert tours around the garden.
So we look forward to seeing you then.